Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Good morning, Stephanie. Can't hear you.
Hello.
There you are. Kara,
I'm here.
how you doing? Denise Stover, I saw your face when you came on, so don't give me the excuse that it's a bad hair day.
All right, I won't hide from you. I'll be on in a minute.
Oh, my God. Okay, so sorry I wasn't able to attend last week. I was sick. I was like sneezing all over the place. Not good. Not good at all. Kara, you're quiet today. What the hell?
Bad mood.
Oh, good. I'm going to put you in a worse mood today then.
Good. Wonderful.
That's my goal. Okay, so here's the question for today, because we're going to cover a lot of stuff. Whenever you are talking to a for sale by owner, what is the one advantage that that for sale by owner has to go with you? What's the one thing that you can offer him that he's not getting on his own? Stephanie?
Exposure.
Exposure. That is the correct answer. So if you went to a for sale by owner and he was interviewing realtors, you told him that you were going to give him exposure, tell me what that would look like to you.
As far as the exposure,
Yeah.
it would mean having it in the MLS, more signage probably, because they probably only put one in their yard, where you might put some by busy streets leading up to it, things that they might not think of. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. More.
Exposure. It's on exposure. The word is exposure. So what are you going to do different?
Oh, than what he does?
No, then not only he does, but other realtors. Because this dude is now decided he's open to the idea of using a realtor. So he's going to talk to you. He's going to talk to Denise. He's going to talk to Kiara, who's in a bad mood. Kiara probably won't get to listen because she's in a bad mood. So what are you going to do different from other realtors?
Reach out to other realtor and broker friends to do an open house and get some of their potential buyers in there, which they might know only a handful of realtors, if any at all. But we work with a ton of them, so we know more and can reach out to them about if they have any buyers interested in a property like that.
Okay. Kiara, what are your thoughts about exposure?
Well, I'll go by your intro and get it into other MLSs, which you are going to show us.
Right. Denise, what are you going to do different than what most realtors are doing as far as exposure? Denise has left the building. Holly, what are you eating?
Chinese food.
Okay, good. Holly, what are you going to do different than most realtors if you're competing against other people?
Well, first of all, I feel like I want to take the time to actually talk to the people, learn about them, find out what their objectives are for selling, so that I'm helping them in a way that I'm not just throwing something out there that isn't even going to apply to them. So good discovery in the beginning. And then after that, the other thing that something I recently was learning about is that a lot of this iBuyer stuff has been coming up. And something sorry, you just went into my Chinese food.
Oh, it's awesome. It was good. Too much sauce.
Yeah, it was good. So something I've been learning about is, instead of like just being like all the other agents out there and saying like, oh, don't go near that iBuyer thing because this is the buzz thing right now, is to actually say to the client, say, hey, I'm going to these are the ways I'll market your property. But, in addition to that, if it's something that they bring up, be able to be in a position where you say, hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and make sure that we are actually putting ourselves out there to those people so that we know whether or not they're even going to give you what you want. So when there's an issue in general that you've discovered in your discovery, instead of kind of like just sideswipe it or move on with the conversation or try to put an extra butter on the bread kind of thing, to approach these things head on. So one thing I feel like that I will do and do with my clients is I approach it head on, and I try to be in a position where I'm not like afraid to talk about the tough things with them.
All right, so here's my question.
Okay.
What if I told you, now I'm gonna make a very cocky statement. I'm gonna think, oh my God, this guy is incredibly obnoxious. So here we go. If I go against any realtor on a listing in the state of Texas,
Okay.
with what I'm doing, I'm going to beat out just about 99.9% of other realtors. I know that's a very obnoxious and cocky statement. And I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. And when you see this, you're going to think, oh my God, I need to be doing that too.
Okay.
So when I talk to a seller, I'm going to tell them, you know, there's 3 ways we can do this listing. We can do the average 6%, which means I get 3, the buyer's agent gets 3. Or we can do 7%, 3 to me, 4% to the buyer's agent. And I tell them, now let's stop right here on this second option. Most realtors are listing a property at 6%. You never see listings at 7%. So if I'm a buyer's agent and I'm showing 10 houses, and I see that I'm going to make 3% on 9 properties, but I'm going to make 4 on this one, which one do you think I'm going to show first? The 4.
Well, the one that's 4, yeah.
Exactly, the 4. And the seller will agree. You're probably going to show the 4. And then we have option number 3. We're going to still do the 7%, but I'm going to put your listing in the Dallas MLS. I'm going to put it in the Houston MLS. Then I'm going to give it to a friend of mine. Her name is Holly Neely. She's going to put it in her MLS. I'm also going to give it to Kiara, who's in Pennsylvania, I think. Pennsylvania?
Knoxville, Tennessee.
Knoxville, Tennessee, I was close. She's going to put it in her MLS. Stephanie is in, where are you at, Stephanie?
Oh, hold on.
Where?
I'm in Chippewa, Georgia.
Georgia. She's going to put it in her MLS. And then I'm going to give it to Denise. Denise is going to put it in her MLS. Denise, where are you located?
Okay.
I am from Pittsburgh, PA.
Pennsylvania. I knew there was somebody in Pennsylvania. So seller, here's my question. Would you, when we talk about the word exposure, and that's why you're considering a realtor, would you rather go 6% with one MLS, 7% with one MLS and 4% to the buyer's agent, or 7% with it being in 50 or 100 different MLSs all over the world? Which one would you rather go with? There's a 99% chance that seller will say the 50 to 100 different MLSs.
Yeah.
Now, let me tell you what your competition is doing. Your competition and my competition is going in with probably a 6% commission. And they're going to put it in one MLS. Well, that to me, because I know what I know, that's not exposure. Compared to 50 or 100 different MLSs, where I can get other realtors involved in this process to bring buyers based on relocation.
Okay, so question.
Okay.
How's the 7% split on that?
Okay, good question. And I'm glad you brought that up. So here's how it's split. You've got to have the special forms to do this. You just can't create your own forms. These forms are recognized by the National Association of Realtors. I think we're all with the same brokerage. Holly is wearing a hat with the brokerage that I'm with. Is everybody with the same brokerage?
I am.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes.
I didn't know that, Robert. Now I love you more.
Okay, good. I'm glad I took a shower too. So what happens is the person who brought this all about now her name is Audrey Mevalak. She's the founder of this whole system. She brought this to me 10 years ago when we were with Remax.
Really?
And because I was thinking about moving to Florida. So I'm thinking, okay, well, I have a license in Texas. Now I got to go get a license in Florida. And after I went to this presentation, I realized with this system, I don't need a license in Florida. I can actually market Florida properties with my Texas license. So,
Yeah, that I want to know.
okay, so here's what happens. On the commission that you asked, here's how the split works. Each of you, by putting this on your MLS, would be called a promoting agent. So the listing agent gets 2%. The promoting agent gets 2%. The buyer's agent gets 3%. So you only get paid if you procure the buyer's agent or the buyer. If you bring
Okay, so
the buyer,
buyers gets 3, the listing gets 2, and the promoting agent gets 2.
right, if you procure the buyer, that means you now get 5%.
Okay.
So what happens is that if you have the possibility of getting 5%, and your MLS will allow you to have out-of-area listings, now there's the big problem right there. Some MLSs will not allow out-of-area listings. Panama City Beach will not allow out-of-area listings. But we found out that Destin MLS will allow out-of-area listings. So I got my girlfriend, she's now with the Destin MLS board. She's going to take all of my listings and put them on the Destin MLS as a promoting agent.
Okay.
So what happens is you've got to go to a website called globalmarketingagent.com. And I think what Audrey is doing, and I'm going to go ahead and say this because it's recorded, I think anybody with the same brokerage that you're with, she's not charging you for the certification, which is normally like $360.
Okay.
Certification gives you the legal forms that you can use that NAR tried to buy from her 10 years ago, and she wouldn't sell it to them. So here's a funny story. I posted a listing that I have in Sedona, Arizona. Now remember, I'm only licensed in Texas. And I posted it on Facebook. The thread went crazy. This guy is not even licensed in Arizona. They were showing screenshots of licenses. I'm not licensed. And so I decided I'm going to see how long this thread can go on with people talking about it. Which I don't mind people talking about me because I'm doing something that's different. So I simply responded with the website to Global Marketing Agent, and within 24 hours, that post automatically disappeared. I don't know what happened to it. It's crazy. So the reason I'm telling you this is because if you go to Global Marketing Agent and learn how to market your properties, you will beat out the competition on for sale by owner appointments because your competition is not doing it at all.
Yeah.
In fact, I've never gone up against another agent that's doing this, that's even in our system, that's even doing this system.
Wow.
Most people will sign up. Here's what most of you will do. Most of you will sign up and you'll say, oh, that's cool, and you'll do nothing with it. Big mistake. Huge mistake. But if you take this this idea of putting listings in multiple MLSs, and it's only two forms. It's called an A1 form and an A2. An A1 is the agreement to market the property from the listing agent, because that's what gives you the rights to do it. And number 2 spells out the commission arrangement between you and the listing agent. So
Wow.
I've taken listings at 7%. I've taken developments at 10%. And if you do this on a leveraged listing where you can go to a developer and say, hey, instead of you spending millions of dollars advertising, let me be the exclusive agent for your development, which will save you the money of marketing it. And I will give you 100 names of 100 realtors who will put it on their MLS, and we will advertise it for you, and you don't have to pay for it.
I have a developer I just met with yesterday that I'm in the process of bringing JVs on for him, joint venture people capital. And literally I was talking to him about how I want to be obviously the main agent over this whole project. And I'm in the middle of putting together a PowerPoint presentation that I can, give to my developers.
We already got one.
We do?
We do.
Really?
Global marketing agent for this same system. And if you want to do a Zoom meeting, I will help you sell this whole idea about putting it on multiple MLSs. I just want the Texas area. I want Dallas and I want Houston.
Okay. Let's do it.
Okay. Now, here's what you got to find out before you get involved in this. Look in your MLS and see if your MLS will allow out-of-area listings.
Yeah, we do.
They do?
Mm-hmm.
Then you can do it. Stephanie, will yours?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure about mine either. I can check though.
Denise, will yours?
I honestly don't know. Ours is very strict. So if I had to take a guess, I would probably say no, but I'm kind of on there. Like, would it say it on the MLS, or do we need to call and ask them?
You could call them, but in Dallas, what they do is they put it by area 999 is anything outside of Texas. Area 1000 is anything outside of the United States.
Yeah, I don't think we do anything outside of the United States, but we do have area 99, which is out of area.
If it's out of area, it probably will let you do out of the country. Other states.
I've not seen one, but I've seen, surrounding states.
So what I've done is if I get a listing in a different area that's not even listed on our MLS, all I've got to do is send them a copy of the paperwork that I've got, the agreement with me and the listing agent, send that to our MLS board and say, hey, I just got this listing in Sedona, Arizona. It's not listed on the MLS. Can you add this city and state to the MLS? And by the end of the day, they've added the city and state onto our MLS so that I can put it in. So my listings right now, I've got a listing in Sedona, Arizona, which was one that I got from another EXP realtor, Chris Anderson, who's with EXP. I've forgotten, I had, before the real estate market crashed, I had 65 condo listings in Las Vegas that went on the MLS. I got a listing in the Dominican Republic. I've got listings all over the world. So how does that benefit you for this for sale by owner class? And here's exactly how it works. When you talk to a for sale by owner, he thinks that realtors do nothing. And for the most part, most realtors do nothing. They stick up a sign. They might do an open house. They put a lockbox on. They take pictures. And that's pretty much it, which is true. And I agree, and I tell them, I agree. There's a bunch of loser realtors out there, but there are a bunch of realtors that are really good. So let me tell you where I'm better than good. And I explained to them how we can put this on multiple MLSs all over the world. That for sale by owner, if he doesn't list with you, it's only because you did not explain fully for him to understand. If he doesn't understand, you didn't explain it to him. Because once he realizes what the word exposure really means, that is massive exposure. You will not get beat by another realtor on a for sale by owner appointment from now on if you use this system. It just won't
That's
happen.
pretty cool. It's really cool.
Stephanie, you got questions?
No, I'm following.
Okay. Kiara, are you in a better mood now?
No?
You're
Yeah.
not in a better
kind
mood?
of. No, didn't get a disbursement I should have gotten.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm fuming. That's all.
So, I want y'all to think about this idea. And, I always love this last one because this one is this was the eye opener for me going
Yeah.
after for sale by owners. I felt like I had something different than most people were doing. There's a guy named Jeff Brand who's in Dallas, Texas. Jeff is with Remax. He is number 15 in the United States with Remax. And I've gone behind him on listing appointments and I've beat him out because I've got this global marketing deal where I can put it on my MLSs. That's the only reason I beat him out. Because he's strong. He's got a strong reputation in the Dallas market. He's got great exposure. But the one thing that got me, that they listed with me over him, was that he wasn't offering listings in different MLSs.
That's actually like, I mean, especially in Kansas City, that's a big deal because we have companies like Cerner, if anybody knows who that is. We have a lot of really big companies here, and we have like 60% of the people that live here, the purchases are millennials. So we have a lot of millennials coming in out of college. So like for me, Arkansas would be good, Texas would be good, Illinois would be good. There's states all around me that are going to be good states to companion with somebody who is licensed in that state, because there's people coming in and moving out all the time due to, growing as a millennial in your career.
So here's exactly what I tell the for sale by owner, and I'm going to give you word for word. When I'm talking to a for sale by owner and I tell them, let's just say that I'm talking to them about a listing in Dallas, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And I show them that I've got a listing in Sedona, Arizona. And I'm going to ask him, look at this listing that I've got in Sedona, Arizona. How many realtors do you think are in Sedona, Arizona?
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to say, I don't know, 1,000, 10,000, I don't know. Okay, and I say, okay, so let's assume there's only 1,000 realtors in Sedona, Arizona. My question that I want you to tell me is, why would they use Robert Russell, who's in Dallas, Texas, to list their property when there's 1,000 other realtors they could go to? Do you think it's because I suck as a realtor?
Probably, yeah.
You know what they say? Good point. Good point. And when I hit them with that, I'm done. I'm done with them. They're toast.
Well, and at that point, if they don't get it, then they're just
They're not seeing the big picture.
They're not seeing the big picture, but it's like they, whether it's with their spouse or with themselves, they got a blood pack and nobody's breaking that pack. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
no matter what, they have told themselves, I ain't buying. And that could be for anything out there in the world,
And
you know.
that's why I've
Going to the car
stressed,
lot and we're not buying, you know.
that's why I've stressed this entire process. We're in the 5th week, that when you're going after for sale by owners, there is no way you're going to have any credibility going in on the first call and telling them that you can list it in 50 or 100 different MLS. You've got to date them through this process to build trust before you can hit them with this idea, because it's bigger than what most realtors are used to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was talking to a girlfriend yesterday, or was it Sunday? Today's Tuesday, right? Yeah. Who has been just like, and she's with the same brokerage, and she's like a cold calling fool, and she's been in this business for a long time, and she's just like door knock, door knock, door knock, and she's like, I've gone to lots of for sale by owners to the door, and you know, it just doesn't work. And so I was talking to her, and I said, and she's a super good friend of mine, and I said, well, there is a way for it to work. And so I kind of started talking to her a little bit about the process that we've been going through with you, and her eyes just kind of opened up. So I'm going to send her your direction, have her go through your class.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions about anything from class number 1 all the way to where we're at right now?
I just wanted to let you know, Robert, that I just called my MLS. She said that I can list anything in Pennsylvania on there. As of now, I can't go out of state, but they're planning on changing that. They just need, I guess they're waiting for approval to do so.
Did she say when they're going to do that?
When?
Yeah.
No, she's like, I can't give you a time right now, but she goes, I know it's something that we do plan on doing.
Then what I would recommend, are you using KV Core for your website?
Yes.
Then this process works whether you put it on MLS or not. So if you don't have the capability to put it on MLS, you can advertise it on your website or wherever you want, because you have permission, which is the A1 form, to advertise this property anywhere that you want, even though you're not licensed in that state. And that's what I want you to understand. The NAR, under the Code of Ethics, says that if you have permission from the listing agent, you can promote their property if you have something in writing, given the agreement to promote it. And that's what's keeping us legal, is by doing that.
So what is, I have a question. When we were talking about like taking listings outside of our area, like, you know, engaging the fact that you can work all over your state, and, you know, don't be limited to just the city that you're in as far as like the for sale by owners that you're calling,
right,
and reaching out to. We talked briefly about like how you make a connection with another agent, and have that agent be the I'm trying to remember what you said. Their sign goes in the front yard.
right.
Be
Okay.
a co-list.
What?
Co-list. A co-list agent.
Is that what it's called?
Let me tell you a process that I just completed. And when I say just completed, like I got the pictures today.
Okay.
Somebody posted on EXP that there was a referral, and it was in, hold on, let me think. It was right outside of Katy, Texas. And I said, I can help him. So I called the seller. We've talked for weeks because he said he needs to get the roof inspected. And I said, before you go pay for a roofer, call your adjuster and make sure you truly need a roof, because any roofer is going to tell you need a new roof, whether you need one or not.
Yeah,
I said, so call an adjuster, find out the real scoop. So he calls me back. He says, okay, we got the roof taken care of. I'm ready to list with you. He goes, now, are you in Katy? And I said, actually, I have 2 offices, one in Florida and one in Texas. And he goes, okay, good. So you can still help me. Oh, of course. I said, so what we'll do is I'm going to email you the paperwork through DocuSign. You and your brother sign this, and then when I get it up, then I'll tell you how we're going to arrange the pictures and the sign and all that stuff. So he did this through DocuSign. I got it all back. I put it in the Houston MLS. I'm going to put it in the Dallas MLS today. I put it on Workplace that I'm looking for a realtor in, it's Waller, Texas. So I said, looking for a buyer's agent in Waller, Texas, parentheses, Katy, Texas. And I put buyer's agent gets 100% of all the buyer commissions. You pay me 0 commission in referral fee. So within 3 seconds, Janessa Allen calls me. She's with EXP. She said, what's the deal with this? I said, here's what I need. I've just got this listing in Waller, Texas. I see that you're about 15 minutes away. If you will put up a sign in a lockbox and take pictures, you get all the sign calls. You pay me nothing in referral. She said, you need pictures too? I said, yeah, if you can take pictures, then when you promote this for looking for buyers, you've already got pictures. So she took pictures. She met with the seller yesterday. I called the seller. Well, I arranged it with him for us to meet at 6 o'clock. Well, I knew that it wasn't going to be me. It was going to be Janessa that was going to meet him. I said, somebody on my team is going to be meeting you to arrange the sign, pick up the key, and she's going to take pictures. Her name is Janessa Allen. It goes perfect. So Janessa met him she met him at 6 o'clock. At 7:15, she sent me pictures. So that means she was done in an hour and 15 minutes. The listing on this is $189,000. So at 3%, or actually 4%, because I'm going to put it on multiple MLSs, it's 4% to the buyer's agent. If she sells it, she's going to make 4% of 189. Do the math.
Yeah.
She pays 0 in a referral fee.
And you get
3%.
3%. Okay.
Now, if it goes out to a promoting realtor, where Holly, if you promote it and you bring a buyer or buyer's agent, then I only get 2. I would get 2, you would get 2, buyer's agent gets 3. But it's still at the 7%, which we agreed to with the seller. And the seller's good with that, 7%.
Yeah, so their sign goes in the yard. The other agent's sign goes in the yard with their phone number and all that stuff on it.
Right.
And they get all the phone calls coming in.
Right.
You're just the listing agent.
That's it. That's all I am. I do all the negotiations for any offers that come in, representing the seller.
I like it a lot.
And that's how I sell real estate from Florida in Texas all day long. So what I'm saying is that if you are not going after your entire state, you're missing the boat. So let's say, for example, that I get a listing in San Antonio, which I'm not a part of the San Antonio Board of Realtors. I would put it in the Dallas MLS. I'm going to put it in the Houston MLS. And I'm going to call Denise, who is my San Antonio realtor, even though you're not Denise.
That's okay.
And I'm going to let Denise put it in the San Antonio MLS. She's going to put up her sign and a lockbox, and she gets all the calls because she's advertising this as the co-listing agent. I'm going to put her on the listing agreement as co-listing agent. She gets 0 on the listing side, but she gets 100% of all the buyers. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Thank you. That really clarifies it.
And what drives me, what I don't understand, and I've only been doing this for 19 years.
That's a long time.
But really, to me, I'm just amazed that no one that I've ever talked to is doing this. It just blows my mind. Am I the only one that's ever thought of this? I can't be the only one.
There are too many agents that had that you only can do the area that you are local to.
Yeah.
I had this conversation with another agent that's been 12 years in the business. Oh no, you can't sell the rest of the state. Why not? Well, that you'd be competing with the other agents. I said, what are we doing now with the 5,000 agents in our area?
You know what my argument would
Well,
be?
no,
Why in the world would the state of Texas, give me a license that allows me to sell in the entire state if they truly didn't want me to sell in the entire
Yeah.
state? Wouldn't they say, okay, Robert, since you're licensed, you can only sell in the DFW area. That's it. No, nowhere else. But no, what all of us have done is we've got a license in your state that the state recognizes that you've passed the test for your entire state. My argument is use your friggin' license in the entire state. I argued with a CE instructor in an ethics class because his argument was that's not your area of expertise.
right.
I said, you're correct. It is not my area of expertise, but I can get somebody else in that area and they can become the person of expertise in that area, and I can still take the listing. That went way over his head. And I just let him win. Okay, dude, I'm not going to argue with you because that'll take up 2 hours trying to explain this to you.
I conserve my energy for somebody who actually,
Right, because it really doesn't matter. I just need to collect my stupid hours for CE class.
Oh God.
So, Stephanie, you look like you're the one in the biggest daze of all here.
No, I'm just watching and listening. That's my focus face.
Oh, it is? Okay, good. All right, so Stephanie, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do some role playing, which is your favorite thing to do in the whole world. And you're going to call hard ass Kiara.
Okay.
I won't be that hard today.
Kiara has finally agreed to use a realtor.
Okay.
I mean, after weeks of beating your head against her stubborn ass, she has finally agreed to list her property with a realtor. So I want you to take it over. I want you to present to her 3 different options, because here's why you're going to give her 3. Kiara is pretty smart, but she's not smart enough to figure out that there's an option 4. So she will probably pick one of your 3 options. If she picks one of your 3, 1, 2, or 3, you're the winner. So I want to see how you present this idea to a hard ass for sale by owner.
Wait, I was listening to you at the beginning give the 3 options, but I didn't take notes because I was going to go back and watch this later.
6%. With 50.
Hold on. 6%. 6%, 3 to listing agent, 3 to the buyer's agent. 7%, 3 to you, 4 to the buyer's agent. Or 7%, 3 to you, 4 to the buyer's agent. Or 7% with 2 to you, 2 to a promoting agent, and 3 to the buyer's agent, and putting it on 50 or 100 different MLSs all over the world. You got it?
Kind of, but I really don't want to be the one to do this.
I know. That's why we're going to let you do it.
Well, I have a question, Robert. If I'm giving 2% to the promoting agent, but I have 10 agents across the country that are promoting this,
Yes.
that doesn't add up.
I know. Because the only person who gets paid is the person that brings the buyer or buyer's agent. Just like they do in commercial real estate.
So
They're all listed as promoters, but unless that promoter sells the house, they don't get anything. Just like if I don't sell the house, I don't get anything.
Right. But it's, you know, the way I look at it, it's good for leveraging your listings because I can use it for future listing appointments to show them that I have listings all over the world, which you, without this system, cannot do.
Okay.
So yeah, if you don't sell it, you don't get paid. This is not the world of entitlement, unless you're a Democrat and you believe in entitlement. Then you need to go vote for Hillary Clinton.
Can I ask you again, what was the advantage of the 7% over the 6% that you're trying to get the seller to agree to?
Okay, so 6% is 3 to you, 3 to the buyer's agent. Option 2 is 7%, 3 to you, the listing agent, and 4% to the buyer's agent. Because everybody else is showing 3, you're going to offer 4. And then option 3, 7%, the same 7%, but instead of doing 3 and 4, you're going to do 3% with other realtors, 50 or 100 different realtors, all over the United States, putting it on their MLS. And then if he asks you, how does that split work out? Then you tell him, I get 2, promoting agent who's in a different state or country. If they bring the buyer or buyer's agent, they get 2, and the buyer's agent still gets his 3%. Does that make sense? And the way it goes on the listing agreement, it says seller agrees to pay an additional 1% if and only if the buyer or buyer's agent is procured outside of the, whatever state you're in, Texas MLS system. So we've already got the wording that you can use for that. You've got, when we get done, go to globalmarketingagent.com, watch the videos that are on the first page, go through the whole deal to learn how to present this. There's going to be a quiz that you've got to take to make sure you understand the process before you can move on to get your certification. This whole process will take you about a day. But once you do that, then you get on the phone, you call other global marketing agents and say, hey, do you have any properties that I can promote in my MLS? Call me first, because I got some. I got some for days. I got 4 right now that you can promote. I got 4 free listings for all of y'all.
So does it, but it doesn't cost us anything to do this?
I don't think she's charging the XP people.
Okay.
I don't think.
Okay.
If she does, it's worth the 300 and some bucks that you got to pay.
Yeah.
It was $545 when I joined. But I'm a tightwad. Look, I'm a major tightwad. Major. And when I saw this, I was pulling out the checkbook. And I've been using it for 10 years. Okay, Stephanie, role play with Kiara. You're going to screw up. It's okay. We'll guide you through this. Oh, you want to role play with me?
Either one. I'm going to be the same no matter who I role play with.
Okay, let's go. Let's do it.
On the FSBO?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so there are a few different ways that we can approach this. Let me give you those options. Way number 1, we'll list it at 6%. And I know you like the thought of the lower number the best, but at 6%, 3% goes to me, the listing agent, and 3% goes to the buyer's agent. Okay? Way number 2 is we can list it at 7%, which, hold on a second, 3% still goes to me, the listing agent, 4% goes to the buyer's agent. And what that does, when they see the 4% in the MLS, that gives them extra incentive to show your property first. Hopefully that means more traction and more traffic through your house, getting it sold quicker.
Okay.
So option number 3, we can do that same 7%, but I have authority to put your listing in MLSs in different areas of the United States. So we'll take that same number. My cats are going crazy. We'll take that same 7%, but it's getting even more exposure than if I were to just put it in my MLS.
And what do you do for 5%?
Okay, Stephanie, now's when you go,
Yeah.
oh, I'm sorry, we got disconnected. Did you say 8%? Oh, yeah, okay. So here's how 8% would work. That's option number 4, 8%.
No, I said 5%. I'm
Oh, I'm
type
sorry.
5.
Did you say 8? There's something wrong with my phone. I keep hearing you say 8%.
No.
So really, I mean, even though you repeated exactly what I said, that's
Yeah.
all you got to do. Just give them options. They will pick one of those 3 options.
Yeah.
So something I've always learned in sales when you get, I mean, it's all, for some reason, it's always 3 options. I have no idea. Somebody tell me why, but it's always 3 options. And generally the option you actually want them to take is usually the 3rd option, like the order that you put them in. And the other thing is that if you do the 3 options, you usually I was always taught to say, okay, so which one of these works best for you? So like assuming the close with them and not really giving them another option. So which one of these do you feel will work best for you?
Now, let me tell you the reason why you give them 3 options. It's because of what I talked about in the very first class, personality types. Most people in the world have the personality type where they have to be told what to do. They have to be told what time to go to work, what time to take a break, what time to take a lunch, what time to come back from lunch, what time to go home, and how much they're going to get paid. The other small percentages are the self-employed people. These are realtors, attorneys, CPAs, or whatever. So when you're dealing with personality types, what you got to understand is that most people, 80% of the population, are used to being told what to do. It never occurs to them that there's other options other than what you presented to them. And
So
that's
what if they say, I want to do 6%, and because it's more of an incentive to pay the buyer's agent more money, what if you take 2.5% as the listing agent and give 3.5% to the buyer's agent and keep it at the lower percentage?
my commission is 3%. That's my minimum.
Okay. I'm
So
just saying.
my question to you, Denise, is if you want me to take a cut in my pay, would you go to your boss and say, hey, I'm willing to work the same amount of hours, same days a week, but I want you to pay me 1/3 less than what you're paying me now?
Of course not.
Well, neither would I. If you're not willing to do it, why should I? And I'll put them on the spot. Anybody ask me to cut my commissions, I'll hit them with, give me something in writing saying that you'll go to your boss and take a decrease in pay. Because if you won't do it, why should I do it? Because you're going to work for me. No, I'm not working for you. I'm working to sell your house. I'm not employed by you. And that's where that cockiness.
That's the misunderstanding of all buyers and sellers is they think we're working for them, but they don't understand we don't get paid until we actually sell a house.
Right. And what I tell them, here's what I tell sellers too. Understand that your goal of selling this house is to make money. Guess why I'm in business? To make money. How bad of a business person would I be if I took a way decrease in commission? Do you really want somebody that's going to negotiate their what they get paid? Is that what you want?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions on anything at all? The personality types, the process of calling people, of dating the for sale by owner, because this is our last class. We got 7 minutes left.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
All the videos that you've sent us, do we have access to those from those links and after this class?
Yes, they're on YouTube,
Okay.
but only you have access to them. If
Right,
you put them
it's
to other
private.
people, they won't be able to watch them.
Okay.
And those are what you've sent us in previous emails?
Yep,
And you recorded this and you're sending this one
I'm
too?
recording it. I'm looking at the little recording screen.
Okay. Just checking. Just
Y'all
checking.
should come to our mastermind class that we do on Mondays, because
missed
it's like
it
me
yesterday.
and Kiara yelling at each other the whole 1 hour every
I know, I
Monday.
got to get back there next week. I've had my grandson the past couple of weeks on
Oh,
Monday.
we're not having it Monday. I'll be out of town. I'll be in Dallas. We're skipping
Oh,
Monday.
okay. All right. I'll
Okay,
just-
so let me ask you this question. How do y'all feel now about going after for sub owners?
A little more confident.
Denise, what about you?
I still have to go back and watch the previous videos.
Oh yeah, I was supposed to give you a hard time about that.
Yeah, you are supposed to give me a.
a Stephanie, what about you? How do you feel about it?
I feel better. I've actually, I think 2 weeks ago, after the class 2 weeks ago, I called for sale by owners for the first time. And they were not as mean as I was waiting for them to be. They were really nice. So I think now that every single one I talked to that day was nice, I think it makes it easier for me because I just didn't know what to expect. So
You're in a better area than I am, because every time I've called for sale by owners, the way I respond here is how they've responded on the phone.
I had zero luck.
It may be the way you're coming across.
It may be. It very well may be, because I'm very Northeastern. I am blunt and straight to the point,
And see, that's how I am too.
Please, bless your little heart, I'm not that.
Holly, how do you feel about this whole process?
I'm excited. I'm really, really excited to dig into this and just start taking it seriously and adding it to my weekly commitment as far as things that I'm going to be working on. So I'm excited. I'm really excited about it.
I think what would be fun, and I got to figure out how I'm going to do this. I want to add a class where each person makes actual phone calls live in front of everybody else.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Oh, Kiara, what's your problem? I see her face. She went,
Nothing. I'm fine.
I
No, I'm on my.
I just won't do video on that day.
well,
I
see,
saw something like that done actually. One of the ladies that's big into the KV course, Sylvia, she does like a prospecting power hour, and anybody that wants to get on got on the call. And I haven't done it yet because I haven't been available at the time. But you just basically it's a Zoom call, and everybody just. So I don't know if they can just see each other but not hear each other, or if they take turns. I'm not sure, but basically it was like their motivation to get out there and to prospect.
Stephanie, when is that?
Say what?
When is that?
I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm allowed to say names and on this call since it's being recorded, but just look at workplace under the KV Core groups, like KV Core for Dum Dums, and the Sylvia sheet you posted in there.
Okay, thanks.
So I don't know if that would be something you could do, Robert.
I wish I could figure out how to do that. I think that'd be awesome. Because I use a dialer, and so my dialer will call about 200 people per hour. So I can go through way more calls than just doing the onesie-twosie things.
What dialer do you use, Robert?
Salesdialers.com. SALESDIALERS.com. Costs about $110 a month, but it's worth every penny. Because I'm using a 4-line dialer. Okay, well, I think that is pretty much going to wrap it up. If y'all have any questions, if you want to do role playing with me, and that way I can verbally beat you up on the phone, that'd be awesome. My telephone number, 972-679-9029. And if y'all need anything, call me. I do answer my phone. Right, Kiara?
Yes, you do.
And Kiara is the only person that's called me.
I think I've called you before too.
Oh, you have. You sure have. And I promised you I was going to give you a hard time because you haven't watched the videos.
I know.
So I think I might.
Yeah, I have some updates to give you, Robert.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
We got to talk. Okay.
Yes, we do.
Stephanie, what's the deal?
When and where are the mastermind classes you were talking about?
Monday.
Mastermind is every Monday at 10 o'clock Central Time. And hold on. Let me go to my Zoom meeting. I'll post this link. Oh my God, I think I lost Aliyah. Where's that?
Did you restart those, or are they just continuation
Their continuation.
throughout? Okay.
I'll put that in the email today when I put the video. Because if I click off of this, I'm afraid I'm going to do something crazy. I got 3 monitors going on, and it's kind of confusing with 3 monitors. That's another recommendation I would have. If you want to simplify this process, go buy 2 more monitors for your computer. And they're cheap. You can get them at Goodwill. So what I do is I'm on, this monitor that I'm on right here is just a monitor. I've got my laptop here, which is in front of me, and I got another monitor over here. So I've got 3 screens going on at the same time so that I can use my dialing system here, I can use my emails here, and I can look at Facebook while I'm making my boring or sub-owner calls. Because I have to do something because it's too boring for me. So go spend some money and get you a couple of monitors. It's going to change how you do business, period. Okay, gang. Well, that's it. Y'all need anything, call me.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.